Okay, fam, I'm back. I promised on part 3 to show um, something from Africa, a keychain from Africa, telling God's name. Now, you know, in Africa, every country has their own language. So, in one of the countries, I don't know which one, I forgot, a respected minister bought me back this a very important token for me because I knew that God's name was not God. Not that the name is that important, I guess, but in a way it is to me. And here is what she gave to me. And that means Jiname. Easy for me to remember. Anyway, part 3. We were speaking earlier that God had made man, the animals, all of the terrain, all of that, and realized that man needed a helper. And that's when God made woman. In here it also says man himself was an animal. Okay, man is a woman's helper. In Sunday school today, we also said that man is also a woman's helper. Family matters. The man and woman carry out the physical. Oh, one question that had been asked was, how can man and woman better honor our divinely created connection to one another? Can anybody answer that? How can we honor our divine connection? Wow, so we are divinely connected. We're connected through our Creator. So I said one way that we could honor our divine connection is by being truthful with one another. If something was told to each other in confidence, we keep it in confidence. And can any of you think of any ways that we can honor our divine connection with one another? I know, even as far as not being husband and wife, even as far as seeing other black people. When I see other black people, I see God. You know, I see somebody that God made, and I see somebody who is underappreciated as far as our standards of beauty and everything. I look at black people and I see beauty. I look at all people and I see beauty. But when it comes to black people, I see me. Okay, family matters. The man and woman carry out the physical relationship that was set up for them in the garden. And you know where the garden was located? In Africa. There was no place else but Africa. The man and woman carry out the physical relationship that was set up for them in the garden. The word no is a euphemism for sexual relations. Furthers the concept that there is a connection between sexuality and knowledge. For the first time in Scripture, a sexual relationship is mentioned. They have 2 sons. Throughout Genesis, firstborn sons do not fare well. Ishmael and Esau. Cain and Abel are the first examples of the tension between elder sons and their younger brothers. As the firstborn, Cain embodied the family's hope for the future. Abel's name in Hebrew means vapor, or nothingness. As the younger son, he was dismissed. In the New Testament, however, Abel is called a man of faith. Hebrews 11:4. And Cain is described as evil. 1 John 3:12, Jude 11. Cain and Abel split the purposeful work set out in the garden. Cain was a worker of the land, and Abel cared for the animals. The broken relationship that later develops between the brothers relates to the broken relationship that was developing between God and humanity. How can we foster wholeness within our families? Can you think of any ways that we can foster wholeness within our families? I say we can foster wholeness by edifying one another and overlooking a lot of stuff that just you don't agree with, and so don't even dwell on it. What do they say? Don't sweat the small stuff. Search the scriptures. Adam observed every type of animal to see which one might make an ideal helper for him. But none of them could be the man's partner. Why do you think God made humans so different from birds, fish, and land animals? I don't know. But I wouldn't even try to think of why God would do anything, because God is God, and I wouldn't even say God is a he. I don't even know. So, like I said, I'm new at this. I'm learning. What do we learn about the proper division of labor from the fact that the two humans who were born divided the purposeful work given to the first generation of humans right down the middle? Discuss the meaning. The family is the foundation of shaping all our relationships with one another and as human beings. From my town, we knew a family called the Chapmans. I think they had like 12 kids, maybe 16 in there. And every one of the Chapmans that I ever met, they were so social. They were very social people. All but one was mean, but all the rest of them were real social. And I often thought about that as I was growing up. I said, they got so many kids to communicate with, that they know how to communicate with the world. How our families relate to one another, from parents to siblings to children, impacts how we relate to people in our extended families, communities, and beyond. How can we be more intentional about giving and receiving love and respect with our natural, adopted, chosen, and spiritual families? Wow, that's cool. Let me reread that question. How can we be more intentional about giving and receiving love and respect with our natural, adopted, chosen, and spiritual families? Can anybody answer that? How can we learn from negative experiences to relate well to the next generation? By learning from what we do and examining it, rolling it over, see what did we do right and what did we do wrong. Liberating lessons. Scripture teaches that without our human family, we are incomplete. We live in a world that prioritizes independence and self-sufficiency. We are celebrated when we can do things without help. Musical artists sing about their love of independent women or self-made men, and many people follow suit, proudly proclaiming that in this life all we need is ourselves. No doubt we all must learn from the importance of self-respect and self-love, but the Genesis 2 passage is clear. It is through our relationships with other human beings that we more fully appreciate our humanity. We need God and one another too, if we desire to thrive in this life. Application for activation. Consider the people who are your helpers or partners in this life. Talk to them about how you can better serve one another. Pray for the people you are in relationship with, and ask God to make you a better partner to the people you love. Do not believe the myth Do not believe the myth that all you need is yourself. If you struggle to ask for help, be open to asking for it. If you have placed undue pressure on the people who help you, consider ways that you can better support others in the work that you do within your household and outside of it. Divide labor with respect to the gifts and abilities of each helper. What I think about that, I really don't want to share as of yet. I feel like a gay person in the closet coming out, because I think that there's not enough security to tell my real true feelings in public about this Sunday school lesson. All the people that I admire who go ahead and tell the truth, such as John Henry Clark, who is now our ancestor, Amos Wilson, who is now our ancestor, Claude Anderson, who still lives. He's so high up, nobody can get to him, I don't think. I'm not an atheist, but I love listening to Jeremiah Kamara. The reason I love listening to him is because he talks about holy lockdown. And the reason I like to hear about holy lockdown is because there was a lady whose son had a chance to play on a team, a baseball team. It was a husband and wife whose son had a chance to play on a baseball team that would eventually lead him to the pros. But they had some practices on Sunday and some games on Sunday, so they wouldn't even let their child participate. Even the pastor takes time off. So I like listening to Jeremiah Kamara because he talks about lockdown, holy lockdown. I enjoy Joy DeGruy. I was listening to her yesterday, and she was saying that definitely, she's so down to earth and so real, and I mean, you would feel just so totally comfortable around her. I was surprised to hear her say that. And most black people that you feel totally comfortable around are Christians. I mean, I don't know about everybody, but I was raised as a Christian, and those are who you would be used to, either that or a person who plays cards or something like that, and she seems like a cool person. But anyway, she broke it down and also said that religion was used to beat across our heads and to hold us back. And religion does indeed hold us back. I will admit it. Okay, there, I said it. I said it, and I don't even have security. But yeah, I think religion holds us as black people back. We are the most praisingest, worshipingest people, yet we have the less. We have less than anybody. And we so depend on things outside of ourselves. Wow. And there this Sunday school book goes, trying to make you feel like don't depend on yourself and all that. You need to depend on yourself. You need to depend on yourself. And it's also good to have family and close relationships, as long as there's respect between everybody concerned. Okay, there, I said it. Couldn't keep my big mouth shut, never have been able to. Okay, love all of y'all. Bye.